It's Friday, October 3rd, 2014, and let's talk about what happened this week over at XDAdevelopers.com. First up, device updates. A couple of devices received multi-ROM this week, specifically the HTC One M8, thanks to forum member Boring Alex, and the Samsung Galaxy S4 i9505, thanks to XDA senior member Antares One, who's continuing the work of Obliquas. The M8 build works with both Sense ROMs and with AOSP, and it should be considered beta, so it's not 100% daily driver ready. But the S4 build, it's a continuation of previous work, so it's going to have a few extra interesting features, like the ability to run a partially working Ubuntu touch port, sort of, and Antares One is planning to support Firefox OS and Sailfish OS for it once they become available for it as well. So either way, if you've got one of those two devices and you just aren't satisfied with only having one OS on it, no, you don't have to. Next up, if you're the owner of the Nokia X2, now you've got a neat little toolbox that you can use with your device thanks to XDA forum member M+. This toolbox will allow you to install the drivers for Windows needed to connect it, install or uninstall Google Play and Google services, root or unroot the device, and boot into recovery directly. However, reading through the forum thread, it seems like some people have had issues with it and maybe have had some trust issues as well because it's coming from a Russian website. So make sure you read through the thread, see what's going on with it before you download it and jump in on it yourself. Now moving on to some Sony news. As of this week, the brand new Xperia Z3, D6653 and D6603 variants were rooted thanks to XDA senior member Monks. He also managed to port twerp over to it unofficially, and also made a modified kernel for it. Now remember, this is only working for those two models I mentioned earlier, and so using any of this stuff with any other models could potentially brick them, so don't. Additionally this week, the Xperia SP received a port of Firefox OS to it, thanks to XDA forum member Boy Lush. Most of the things about it are working fine, except there's some camera bugginess, and LTE, the headphone jack, and MTP just don't work. Either way though, for a device that Sony sort of abandoned whenever KitKat came around, it is nice that somebody's picking it up and doing something with it. And in the last Sony related story, this week it came out that Sony is going to be extending their AOSP program to include some other devices. This is thanks in large part to XDA senior recognized developer Aline Jarpalea, who is now working at Sony, and he's going to be doing his best to try to help developers out by releasing source code and making training resources and tutorials and things. Unfortunately, Aline is going to be working alone in this endeavor at Sony, but at least something's better than nothing, right? Moving along though, some updates came out this week about Google's Project Aura. If you don't remember about it, it's a modular phone concept that Motorola was originally working on. The updates, surprisingly enough, Aura is going to be hot swappable. Additionally, it's going to be running Android L, but I figured given that it's not out yet, it's kind of a given that it would be running that. But anyway, the idea that you could, at any given time, pull out a component from the phone and swap it for something new, anything other than the CPU or the display, that's pretty cool. You could add more RAM or add more storage or upgrade the camera, something like that. The estimated launch for this is sometime in early 2015, and if I'm being honest, I'm not convinced there's going to be any sort of large-scale launch for this. But still, it's an exciting concept to me. What do you guys think about it? Is it going to be a big deal? Is it going to have a lot of hype behind it? Is it going to just kind of flop because manufacturing for this is going to be really, really difficult? And anyway, to wrap things up, some XDA news. As of this week, it was announced XDA is going to be partnering up with LG for a 2-week development competition surrounding LG Q Pair, which helps you to sort of use your tablet and phone a little bit more seamlessly together. So if you have an idea for an app that might use their new Q Pair SDK, you can jump in, put in your proposal. The individuals with the 10 best proposals are going to get an LG G Pad, and the best 2 out of those will get G Watch Rs, which awesome. So for more information about that, do make sure to check out the post on the portal. Also this week, we added some new forums for the US variants of the Galaxy Note 4, as well as the new Amazon Fire HD6 and HD7. So if any of those devices interest you, check those out. And if you hadn't already noticed, our portal, the front page of the site, it received a facelift to match the new forum theme, as we talked about last week. Not quite sure what I think of it yet, but it's definitely more responsive, it's more modern. Not bad. And anyway, to wrap things up, 3 other videos were posted to XDA TV this week. TK did another Exposed Tuesday talking about status bar volume module. Then Adam made a video talking about his experience with the iPhone 6. And TK did another app review talking about Calc Plus. But you know what? That's going to be about all from me for today. You can find the links to all the stories I talked about in the video description, as usual, as well as the links to my YouTube channels. Remember, if you like this video, leave us a like down below the video and subscribe to receive all of our content as soon as it becomes available. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.